1, action. Good afternoon, gentlemen and ladies. Welcome to Focus, Central Focus, on Gambit TV. I have two gentlemen in the studio with me, Dr. Suleiman Muhammed and Dr. Odieson Ahmad. Dr. Suleiman Muhammed is a security expert by my left, and then Dr. Ahmad Odieson is a software developer. Thank you all, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us, and good day, viewers at home.
Thank you for having us, and good day, viewers.
Thank you.
I will be taking you on, Dr. Sir. As a security expert, what do you have to say about this issue of insecurity in Nigeria? As it happened that kidnapping or banditry or non-government have become a business that when they speak, the guys obey. But when Mr. President speak, few people obey. What is the on this?
Thank you very much once again for having me. The question you ask is a very serious and terrifying problem that is facing us as a people and as a nation presently. The issue of this security, when you look at it from a very broad, you understand, angle, it encompasses a lot of things that maybe you and I are not even seeing it from the angle, you understand. The people who are using it as business, just like you said, are looking at it from. In the first place, yes, Nigerians will not obey the president or the government rather, because Nigerians have seen that the government has failed, you understand, at all levels. The government has said, both the local, subnational, and the national government, they have failed in protecting the life and property of the citizen. That is why you see that Nigerians are no longer, you understand, obeying or taking serious whatever the government says. Rather, they will take the bandits, the Boko Haram, the terrorists, or whatever you call them, serious. Because if they make threats that we are going to do this, they will carry out the threat successfully and nothing will happen. So it is a very serious problem that it needs serious approach from, in fact, different angles if we want to tackle it. And I'm sorry to say, the government, you understand, are not sincere in tackling this thing, because they have seen it as a way, you understand, either of doing business or winning the heart of people, you understand, to their own side, so that during the election, these people can give them the mandate. That is why you see that they cannot, go hard on the people that are perpetrating this evil.
Okay. By this analysis, do you think, are you saying the federal government, the government of Nigeria, and the kidnappers are doing business together?
Yes, to a very large extent, you have to say so.
Okay.
Let me give you some few instances. If you watch closely, you know that now the terrorists are making live video through TikTok, through phonics and what have you. And if you see the kind of sophisticated weapons these terrorists are having, if you see those boys in the bush, are you telling me that they have the money to acquire these sophisticated weapons? They have the capacity to bring the fighter jets down. They have the capacity to shoot anything on the air down. They have the capacity to threat the government that we are going to do, and they will do it. So if you are telling me, or you are asking me, do I think that there is a business, you understand, or there is connection between the terrorists and the government? Where are these things coming from? We have immigration, we have custom. So how do these sophisticated weapons get into the country?
Thank you so much, Dr. Sule. By your analysis now, you are drawing my attention to this issue of national integration of information. Actually, those I'm bandits, kidnappers, and what have you. When they kidnap, they communicate. Are you telling me that all this data we collected are not useful?
Thank you once again. You see, we have what we call an intelligent gathering. So, and you see, the few time I know, maybe when I was out of, you understand, the system, I don't know how do they do it now. Every day there is a data, you understand, that the intelligence agents submit to both the local, the state, and the federal government.
Are you talking about manual data or digital?
Digital, you understand? Digital. And what this data says, it collates, you understand, whatever that is happening in a certain environment with regards to day-to-day activities of every individual.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Suleiman. But what is that? As a software developer,
Yes.
what I understand in software is not just developing computer. It has to do with information as well. As a software developer, what measure do you think we can put in place to make information that will, because I understand that same time that we register, there's national there's NIN, if you there's voter registration card, all these things are human data. And we have the National Data Protection Commission. We have the Nigerian Police, the Station of Nigerian Police that also have this information or this section that have to do with data. The NIN office is there. Which is this alone, holistically can take all the information of Nigeria. Both those who as well have NIN. Now, with this issue of insecurity, payment of ransom, as a software developer, what do you think from the profession can be is of helpful to our current situation?
Yes, thank you very much for having me in the studio. And to enable me throw light on the forbearing issues and as it affects us as a people. Before I proceed to answer your question, let me just add a little to what Doctor has said here. There needs to be a political will in order to address this insecurity. Because from the ongoing, you can see that the architecture, government security architecture has completely been overwhelmed by the so-called banditry, miscreant, whatever name you call them. Yes, because they even say there is the resorted to the non-kinetic approach. How would any serious government resort to a non-kinetic approach? By so doing, they are simply saying we have been overwhelmed. Because how would you negotiate with terrorists or pay ransom when if your security architecture is still in place? What will be the duty? That is in addition to what he has just said. Now, to answer your question, yes, we have all these agencies that are responsible for biodata. At the finger of your tip of your finger, all your information are being captured. So if you narrow it down to the base station, like where we are now, if I receive any call from this location, it's on record. If I recharge my card from this location, it's on record. All the necessary from the database are there.
So what do you think? What do you think is the way forward?
Yes.
Because you mentioned political will.
Yes.
And this is not a political will.
Yes.
I'm taking about a word and that is like a political will.
Yes.
That can only prolong this type of issues.
Yes. There are a lot of reasons that are responsible. Okay. And if we must be serious with ourselves as a nation, there are certain steps we must take to address this sliding insecurity.
Can you take us?
Yes. One at a time. First and foremost, we have to put the right peg in the right hole. That is first and foremost. For instance, our military regiment, our defense attaches must be given the necessary equipment and armory that they deserve.
Do you think they don't have that?
Now they have been government provisions, but what happens to the allocations and this procurement is what you and I don't know.
So what you are telling me that after budget presentation,
yes,
and money is being released, audit, to know how the money was is expanded. So all those figures you see the people are
let me
construction of
yes, let me just put you through. For instance, these budgets are being submitted to the National Assembly. When these budgets are submitted, the National Assembly has an oversight duty to make sure that these procurements are actually done. But on several times, from the audit report, what do we get? Does this show that these armories are really on ground? If they are on ground, why are they in wrong hands? Because oftentimes it is in the hands of the bandits. So that is one. Secondly, the fact that we have to be really committed to empowering or making sure that the right of the society or our mass, the entire citizenry is protected, because the government owes it a duty to protect life and property.
Okay, let me ask you. But I don't see Nigeria making headway in protecting the citizen. Let me ask this question. We have Nigerian Army. We have Nigerian Air Force. We have Nigerian Navy. We have Nigerian Police. We have Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps. Now, we have Nigerian Immigration, who are basically constituted to monitor our boundary. Plus or minus, we have different classes of, some classes of experts in Nigeria. And by the time you multiply their numbers, compared to the numbers of money we have in this country, does that mean that we don't really have security? Or these are the passengers that is invested in. Some are being trained locally and internationally. For what just one sole reason? Protection of Nigerian citizens and the Nigerian sovereignty, both air and waterways and the land. So if Nigerians are failing, that we are now living, sleeping in the bandwidth, with bandwidth in our communities, what do you have to do about Nigerian government?
Let me quickly throw you back or remind you. If I go to a bank now as a citizen and I want to transact 6 million naira from my account, the bank will ask me for school meal. I have to pass through all due diligence through EFCC to make sure I attend it. But these bandits transact business in billions of naira, and they go scot-free. What does it portray? Does it not show connivance? Will it not show internal internal conspiracy? So if you are looking at the security architecture, the military constitutionally have the provision to secure when it's external aggression. So anything within immigration falls within the ambit of you have an immigration department, and then if there is an internal wrangling with the police, etc., and then when there is an aerial offenses, that's where the Air Force and if it's marine, then the Navy is coming. This is the structure. So we have all what it takes, to secure our boundaries and to provide the needed security.
Okay, let me ask you, Dr. Suleiman. I deliberately mention this part. Because I understand that Nigerian custom are the one in charge of anything importation into this country. And there's no place in the market, there's no marketplace in Nigeria where people are manufactured and sold. Just like you go to the market and buy any fabric of your choice. What do you think that happened? How did they get all this time get into this country?
Thank you. Please, before I...
Looking at it from the angle of immigration and custom.
Before I answer that question quickly, Dr. Odieson mentioned putting the right peg in the right hole. You understand? I think that is the major problem we are having. Because if you watch now, there are some appointments that the government are making that they are completely wrong appointments. You understand? That
Are you telling me? Are you telling me that all the people have in the name of affairs are wrong?
Not all of them. Not all of them, but majority. Let me just take you down.
Okay.
You see, during the administration of President Umar Musa, the National Security Advisor was a retired army officer. You understand? Retired general. Do you know the role of NSA? You understand? In the security architecture. Today, who is the National Security Advisor? Has he acquired any security training? You understand? Not to talk of even going to the military. Who is the Minister of Defense? Both the federal, the senior minister and the Minister of State for Defense. These are the things we have to take into consideration, because the people who have gone to the war, they face what is called war, they've gone to the battlefield. You understand? When you bring these people, you understand, to design what security architecture is, they will tell you this is how it's supposed to be. These are the bloody civilians who have not even gone to war. You understand? They have not even gone to separate fight, and you are giving them this enormous responsibility. How do you think they will carry it out? So let me answer a question directly. Yes, the Nigeria custom saddled with the responsibility of checking what comes in. You understand? What goes out. Okay, today, you know, I told you from my first response to your question, how did this sophisticated arm get into these bandits and terrorists to the point of having RPG, to the point of having drone, to the point of having grenade? You understand? That can bring fighter jet from the sky to down. You understand? This is the problem. And again, let me correct an impression that you made. You said there is no place they are manufacturing arms in Nigeria. There are a lot of places today, you understand, in connivance with some of the security agencies. Some people have been arrested, you understand, and we are seeing that they are producing AK-47 in Nigeria. There was a place in Jos.
Are they carrying AK-47?
Some of them are carrying AK-47. That is what I'm telling you. There are other sophisticated weapons that are coming in. These are foreign sophisticated weapons that are finding their way into the hands of these bandits. God bless you. That is where corruption comes in, underhanded corruption, or patriotism. You understand? Because if you are patriotic enough, you would allow such things, you understand, to come out because you have taken something, you allow it. I think few days ago, I'm sure you watched that video when one of the senators was showing the Senate President David Matthew, that a trailer load of bullets, you understand, it was, you understand, dropping on the ground. That trailer was finding its way going to the bandit in the bush to give to the bandit.
Okay. Now,
it's a serious problem.
What was telling me that coming together as a Nigeria, as one nation, is a ship with so many sailors. So thousands of people in one ship going in different directions with different sailors. Is it possible?
It's not possible. Yeah, that is where we find ourselves.
So you are telling me that those who are elected, those who are appointed, both trained officers, does not have Nigeria at heart.
Honestly speaking, you have people taking the word from my mouth. They don't have the country at heart, and they don't have you and I at heart. If they do, we won't find ourselves in this kind of national mess. Look, go to the United States of America. They have pockets of insecurity there. You cannot say so, but you can't compare what we are facing here now to the United States of America. In Texas alone is bigger than Nigeria, and it's a state, the United States of America, and they have 50 states or 50 thereabouts, and we have 36 states, including FCT. It's only one man that is still the president of the United States of America today. How possible? How is he doing it? You understand? So that we cannot.
So are you telling me now that we have failed as a nation?
Honestly, there is no other word that can describe the situation we are in now than to say Nigeria is a failed state. That no other language, no,
with all these laws and
is the law working? Is the law working? Look at what happened recently when a Boko Haram terrorist that have killed, confessed, you understand, done all sort of things. The High Court, you understand, pass a judgment, just give him handed over 30 years imprisonment. This is somebody who has killed, has destroyed a lot of things, destroyed businesses, caused a lot of mayhem, you understand, in community, and you are giving such a person sentence of 20 years in prison, when you're supposed to even sentence this person to death by hanging or publicly, you understand, facing firing squad. So what encouragement are you giving to the society? And what are you encouraging the Boko Haram or the terrorists to continue doing what they are doing?
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Do you think Nigeria is right or have the capacity to govern itself as a nation?
Yes. It's a very, very pertinent question. And before I delve into that question, let me just add what Doctor has just said here. You know, we have a very porous border. These borders are not properly being manned. For the border, our border, it's very porous.
They are not properly manned.
And they are not properly manned. And because we don't have enough men to man this, it's become so easy for these arms and armory to come through these porous borders. That is one. Two, again, our laws are not encouraging. How would you, somebody that had killed and committed so much mayhem, be given a wishy-washy judgment of 20 years? And before you know it, there will be issue of amnesty
And presidential pardon.
Or the slogan that goes around the caprices now, it's about radicalization. Where our gallant men, able men that have resisted all the attacks by some of these miscreants are being implanted by some moles from these miscreants that they are being radicalized, and they are being employed into our
and they will be rehabilitated.
And rehabilitated. Is it not making mockery of the whole structure? Okay, look at not just continue. Look at what happened in Niger the other day. That an order was given that they should go and man that school 30 minutes to the time.
The soldiers were withdrawn. And immediately they were withdrawn. The abductors came and abducted the children.
So does it now show, to answer your question now, does it now show that we are ready at this point?
We are not, honestly.
Does it show?
There's no
all these indices.
So what you are telling me that animals are more safe in Nigeria than human beings?
What I'm saying in this essence, ab initio, we should learn to put the right peg in the right hole.
Simple.
That is what we are saying. The 2027 is around the corner. Before you know it, it's going to be campaign galore.
They have even started already.
So let the masses know that little salt, that sugar, that rice they collect, this is how they are paying for it. So that by the time the honest politicians that really have the wherewithal, the integrity to deliver us from this pogrom that we have found ourselves, come out, even when they don't have money, we should honor them with our good, positive votes, so that they will stand in the thick for us and do what is needful.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. Recently, Mr. President ordered the withdrawal of security from VIP. Do you think this will contribute to the issue of insecurity, type insecurity, challenge we have in the country?
Yeah, that is a mixed blessing, if you ask me. Because if this man that has a machismo and goes around with his clout of a retinue of security men, face protected before, but now with this order is no longer protected, I think he will think more of the masses than himself.
Dr. Suleiman,
Yes.
what is your take on this one? on this Mr. President decision?
Yes, I think it is a good development. This is not the first time we are hearing this issue of withdrawing policemen from the VIPs. Some presidents in the past have given such order. I think it is now. I listened to the IG of police, Betokun, 2 days ago. He said they are obeying the Mr. President order strictly, but they will not expose those VIP, you understand, to danger, because by doing it directly, they will expose. But I don't know what he meant by that. I think we have NSCDs, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. They can assign them to these VIPs. The police that are trained, you understand, to manage the internal crisis can come up, you understand, and do their job, so that the soldiers that are doing the police work now can go back, you understand, and do their work to safeguard our territorial integrity, you understand. Because now, if you watch, you discover that most of the job the soldiers are doing now, it is the police job, you understand, and they are overwhelmed.
So what you are telling me that the part of responsibility for each Nigerian security has been shifted from one hand to another?
Completely. You see, some few years ago, I discussed with a friend. I said a time will come that if a military person dies going on the street, nobody will respect him. I will have gotten to that level now. It was not like that when you and I were growing. When you see a soldier going, you will be forced to respect that uniform. Do you know why? A time has come when they were using our soldiers to be chasing those that are the people that are selling groundnut on the street. You understand? They call them joint task force, which is very, very wrong. A lot of people have said it, that this thing they are doing, because the soldiers are our pride. The military are our pride. You have to hold them as such. You understand? Because their job is clearly stated. You understand? Where they should man, you understand, they should protect our territorial integrity. But you are bringing them to be chasing people that are selling banana, selling gugu, selling banana on the street.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sule, for your response. Let me look at this. About the last 2 weeks, last 2 weeks, the Federal Ministry of Education announced the closure of almost 40 unity schools, having resumed from first time, barely 2 months into first time, which I'm trying to believe they are going to come out of the curriculum.
At all.
So what do you think is the effect?
Thank you very much. Automatically, the government has told you and I that they surrender the sovereignty of Nigeria to the terrorists. That is simple, you understand, analysis, if you ask me. You see, they came up to deny it. You know, Nigeria government, they will tell you it's not, but it is true. Because if it is not, look, go to Nigeria, all the schools have been closed down. A lot of states, you understand. So if the unity school is working only in Abuja, it's not working in other states. So automatically, this unity school have been closed down. So the concept of Boko Haram, which the terrorists came up from Borno, which is Western education is bad. They are achieving it already. Because if the schools are being closed down and our children can no longer go to school and learn, if you and I did not learn, how will you be here to discuss the national issues such as this?
Okay. That's what this is. Yes. Within that same period, there's a video circulating around the media where Kogi State Polytechnic students were running on the street. That they start a bandit in the school. What measures do you take? What do you think is the effect and the measure should put in place to cut off all these things?
Yes, it's not far-fetched because when you refuse to make your bed, then you don't sleep on whatever you get. Is
no, I appreciate
it is how you make your bed that you lie on.
Coming out publicly to be like, okay, yes, he's aware that the leader of bandits is improvising and he's not going to rest.
You see, that admittal is already a self-defeat, because in other parts besides Kogi State, most of the schools, just like Doctor said here, most of the schools have been shut down. even though the government came out to say no, in denial. But that goes to tell you the concept of the Boko Haram, which says Western education is a scam. They have achieved that aim. But let me even buttress that point further. Somewhere around the northeast, what they do is that they go around collecting levy from farmers. That is why the produce you get now is hitting the rooftop. Because farmers now pay to the bandits before they can access their farm. When it's time for harvest, they also pay. So by implication, there's a collapse of governance and the bandits are at sway. They are having a feeling.
So you are telling the prophet that the government across the region?
As a matter of fact, so yesterday I got a news from Port Harcourt that they've infiltrated everywhere. And so if not only in the north or northeast, they are spreading their proliferation to the south, then your guess are as good as mine. So that is the bitter truth we are faced with. It's a complete collapse if something drastic is not done about it. If the government does not put its foot on the ground, then it's far from being called safe.
Well, thank you so much for your time. My two guests, Dr. Sule and Dr. Odieson, I appreciate your presence and your analysis. You people will join me short time for another edition of this security issue and Nigerian politics, particularly when the issue of general election is around the corner. And I'm beginning to see people jumping from one party to another already. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Thank you, viewers.
Thank you, viewers.